ChadArmesTV. ChadArmesTV, we are back with another interview from the interview series, man. And this is one I'm super interested to get into, man. This is my buddy Murph. He is an owner and operator of Outlaw Dynamics, which we're going to get into what that is. But outside of that, he's got a very, very dope story. And I've been excited to sit down with him so he could tell it, man. So, ChadArmesTV, let's get this going, man. Talk to him, Bubba.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have expected it growing up. Growing up, had a good life, good school, played sports, just, grew up in the middle of Iowa, nothing to do but get in trouble. I skated all the way through there, doing stupid stuff, but young stupid stuff. And then, had a great mom. She was great. She was by my side the whole time. My dad, he wasn't there. He fought addiction on and off, and never got over that, which is sad because he missed out on so much. But
So what part of Missouri was it?
In Iowa.
Iowa.
In Iowa.
I'm tripping.
No,
yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Iowa.
Yeah.
And that's where I live now.
No, Iowa. Okay.
Yep. But just everything happens for a reason, and you don't plan to go down a road that you don't want to lead down. You fall into that, and there ain't no getting out of it, and you gotta accept responsibility for that. But growing up, you don't know what to do. And if nobody has lived the same life as you don't know how to work with people on what it's like growing up and not knowing what to do, that
single parent household.
Yeah. And my mom ended up remarrying and, did all that, and that's fine. But just from when I got older, it's like I needed to take my life, I felt like, and run with what I needed to do to survive. And I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And, meeting up with people and, they do bad things. You learn, you filter out this and that. Eventually you run from yourself. You don't know who you are. You got to figure out who you are. Mm-hmm. And it's scary. You hit your late teens and your 20s and you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Growing
up, so do you have any siblings that lived with you in the house?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Okay.
She was 4 years younger.
Were y'all close?
Yeah, we're close.
Okay.
Yep.
So growing up too in Iowa, was the single parent household just you and your sister? Was you, your sister, and your mama?
Yep.
Did you play sports, anything growing up?
I did.
What was your sport you got into?
I played football, baseball, wrestled, just staying active. Anything that was physical.
Yeah.
Physical. I was big. I was strong.
Yeah.
And I like that light. I like being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And that's part of one of those things. You start feeling yourself not being in that spotlight. Immediately you're like, what do you got to do
to get back in it?
What do you got to do to get back in it? And it's not always good.
It's a drug, bro.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
And it's a high.
Yeah.
And trying to be somebody you're not. Mm-hmm. And it never works out good.
Did you find yourself growing up, when you was growing up, did you start getting into trouble like as a kid, or did that like...
I did.
Not having the guidance and stuff?
Yeah. And it was little things, and I can't even tell you why I did it. Mm-hmm. My mama didn't teach me to do it.
Yeah.
It broke her heart growing up doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. But when you're in that state of mind and you're searching for the light, you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. It don't matter how close they are. Nobody's going to tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
And it also works that way on the back end too.
Yep.
If you got goals and you want to work yourself out of that, there's nobody that can tell you that you can't.
No, 100%.
There's nobody that can stand in your way.
Yeah.
Look at Jelly for example. He started from the very bottom, hanging drywall. and he worked himself out, man. He found a way. Mm-hmm. And there was nobody that could tell him that he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And there's still nobody that can't tell him that he can't do something.
No, facts.
Look at him yesterday. He did that 5K. Mm-hmm. Man, that warmed my heart.
Oh yeah, the 5K.
Man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, got to give him props for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's just, it can be a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can tell you how to do it. Nobody can tell you what to do. But at the same time, it's a bad thing. It can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And you don't know. You get into the game and you get trapped. You know, you get in a hole.
Yeah.
You get behind. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have nobody to run to.
Yeah. And for the people watching, when you're saying about the game, you want to speak a little bit about what you're saying?
Yeah, so back, it's been a while. So I went back. I ended up doing some stupid shit, getting mixed up in the wrong people, just like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And get caught up in the feds.
Mm-hmm.
They threw me down right off the bat. Ain't nothing on my record but a speeding ticket and, you know, some little things, little misdemeanors that, you know, they throw me right into Leavenworth, right out the bat.
And
Leavenworth's down by Kansas City.
And it's federal prison.
It's federal prison.
Yeah.
It's one of the most well-known federal prisons. And it's, you know, it is what they say. It's rough.
Yeah.
You know.
And how old were you when this happened?
This was in 2015. I would have been 33.
Okay.
33, 34.
So up until that point, were you just trying to, was you just working regular jobs and just doing regular things?
Doing regular things, working regular jobs, and trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I get myself trying to be. I got to a point where I was trying to be somebody I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was trying to improve the wrong people. For what?
Yeah.
And I crawled down that rabbit hole, you know, and you just get behind, and you can't come out, and it's too late. And when the feds come down on you, they don't come down on you overnight.
Yeah.
They've been watching you for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and
also for people watching, we can't speak about exactly what it was.
Yep.
But just know it was enough. Whatever it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad.
And it's not nothing like
right.
super wild. People are wondering. Yeah, it ain't nothing like that.
Yeah. I ain't going on murder. I didn't do none of that.
Yeah.
It was, you know.
Yeah.
It was a crime family.
Yeah.
You know, there's money. There's a lot of things involved.
Yeah.
And
what was going through your head when you? So was it a thing where you just got popped and then it was like straight to it? There wasn't no trial, like nothing?
Like there was no trial because they had me dead to rights.
Okay.
You know, and I didn't get the cooperation points. So, you know, they were even more pissed about that.
Oh, because I wouldn't
talk.
Yeah.
You know, and they want you to cooperate. They want to give you that, you know, that 2K on there. And man, knowing what I know now was the best decision I ever made.
No, not saying it. Yeah.
Not saying anything.
Yeah.
It's just own responsibility for what you did and what you did only. And that's it.
Yep.
And you'll be just fine. Take responsibility for what you did. Don't take responsibility or try to put something on somebody else.
When you
did it.
Yeah, right. So, Leavenworth Federal Prison, right?
Yep.
Speak a little bit about your first. It ain't necessarily first day, but like when you first went in, kind of whatever you want to speak about with that. Let's get into that.
So it comes in. So, you know, there ain't no prep story. There ain't no like Will Ferrell. Get hard movie.
You got a month.
Right.
No,
they throw the gauntlet down and it's on.
Yeah.
You know, and so they get you there, and they book you, they process you, which isn't a fun. You know,
I'm sure it's very invasive.
It's very invasive.
Yeah.
And then it's boom. They don't tell you what unit you're going to. They don't tell you who you're going to be with. They don't tell you who to go find. They don't assign you a counselor. They open up that door and they say, you're this pod, this cell, go put your stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walk in, you don't know who you're walking into.
Mm-hmm.
No idea. They don't separate you.
You don't know what kind of affiliation,
Right.
or
No affiliation. You don't know what gang member you're going into.
yeah,
You don't know. You don't know if you're in there with a serial rapist, a murderer. I mean, you could walk into Jeffrey Dahmer, and you have no idea.
And you have and you're in there for something nowhere close to
Nowhere close.
Yeah.
Nowhere close.
Yeah.
But you learn real fast.
Yeah.
You learn real fast what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Was your cellie, was he somewhat like tolerable? Like the first one you got?
The first one I got, I had an hour to go check out because he was with the Bloods.
Oh, okay.
So coming into his cell, bumped one of his people out of his cell.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't.
So you're already, like, they're already looking at you.
They're already looking at me like I'm a target.
Yeah.
Boom. And they throw you into, say, so in Leavenworth they got A, B, upper, lower, different wings, this, that. The inmates kind of segregate themselves to different wings over power.
Yeah.
So you get thrown in, and a lot of times it's on purpose to see, depending on what your crime is, who's on your paperwork, they test you. They do it.
Is that so? Here's what I'll ask you too. In Leavenworth, because I was just interviewing my buddy that did 7 years in the feds for some drug stuff, and everywhere certain prisons he went to, he immediately would present his paperwork to show the people.
Absolutely.
But he said when he went to Florida, they were like, we don't even want to look at it. He was like, no, I'm going to show y'all my paperwork.
Right.
Was it like that for you?
It was.
Okay.
So Leavenworth is one of them places where you have to have your paperwork in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you're called out from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So to tell you how serious Leavenworth is, over a period of time, they are real big on, no sex offenders.
Yeah. No
rapists. They don't have any time, place for anybody that hurts the women and the children. Mm-hmm. Even in the real world, that carries on out, and I'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
But that carries on out to the real world.
Yeah.
You learn that loyalty and respect, and you learn who the evil people are out there in that world. You learn who's running the fentanyl. You learn who's meeting up with these teenage kids, and child trafficking. It's a real thing. I mean, for all them parents out there, anybody that has them kids or know people that have kids that love anybody, man, have that safe word, because they're out there.
100%.
100%. And the trafficking is unreal.
Yeah, especially now more than ever.
Now more than ever, and it's in your backyard. Mm-hmm. Some of the closest people that you think are some of the worst enemies out there. Mm-hmm. And you have no idea. Yeah. And there's people out there that know how to call them out, and I'm one of them, and we don't shy from it,
Yeah. Did you have to deal with that a lot there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Leavenworth was a no predator yard, so they checked them in right off the bus because they knew.
They knew they wouldn't last.
Yep. Yep. And that was one of the stipulations of the yard that, that they got us to work with them was, they worked with us on stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, we'll help you control the drugs. We'll help you control the rioting, because one false move and that whole yard can turn. Yep. And we can shut it down. Yeah. We've been locked down 23 hours a day, 24 hours a day on threats, where they come in, there'd be a riot, a race riot is what they call them. And it's, where one race does something against, and what do? They go at it. Where there's the most people.
So they can get away with the most.
So they can get away with the most.
Yeah.
So, and shanking and all that, that's real. That what you see on TV and what they portray on that, it's that on steroids.
Yeah, that's what my buddy was telling me. He was telling me he had to have a knife on him all the time.
All
on
the
Christmas,
time.
Thanksgiving.
All the time.
Yeah. He went to the shower with boots.
Yep.
Took them off, put the shower shoes on. Just in case.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's just what you do. It's a lifestyle that you have to adapt to, and you can't go anywhere from it. You can't be like, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want to live this way. No, you put yourself there. You got to figure it out. And it was to a point. It was so bad, like in Leavenworth, that I didn't even want my family coming to visit. Like, it was that bad.
Because you didn't want anybody seeing them or them
Right,
seeing anything.
right. And I was there for quite a while, and then finally my mom and my sister had come down because it had been so long since they had seen me.
Yeah.
But, you know, leading up to that visit and what had to happen for that visit to happen, you know, it's just the safety, just the, you know, I would have never wanted to put them in that situation.
Right.
You know, and they did it, and I get why they did it. I totally get it, and there was nothing I was going to tell them to stop. But, you know, it.
How long did it take you to get acclimated to that kind of a, especially with like never being incarcerated before and going straight to that? Like, how long did that take for you to get?
It takes a long time, and the reason it takes a long time is because you're not in the right mind frame when you get there. Mm-hmm. You're pissed.
Yeah.
You're holding grudges.
Yeah.
You want to kill the world.
Yeah.
You just, okay, so back to this paperwork.
Yeah.
You get that paperwork. That paperwork's your life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about you, everything about your case, who's on it.
Yeah.
The worst thing that happens to a man, woman, whoever you are, you get that paperwork from the feds when you're getting entered into prison, and you're looking through your paperwork. They call it discovery. That's your packet of paperwork.
Yep.
And you see who turned on you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because...
And it's like a best friend or something.
Oh, it's the closest ones to you.
Yeah.
It's the closest ones to you that you cut bread with for a lot of your life.
Yep.
And you know what? You cooperate and you talk to the feds like that, they're going to throw you out there.
Yeah.
You're on that paperwork.
Yep.
You're on it for the world to see.
Yep.
You can go to the federal justice system, look up my paperwork, and see everybody that's on it. Mm-hmm. And it's...
But it's not showing you talking on anybody else, though. It's everybody talking on you.
Right.
Yeah.
You get that 5K1, and it says non-cooperatable.
Yep.
That 5K1's a killer.
That's what my buddy was telling me too. Yep. Same shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you a snitch.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you live that life.
Yep.
And so anyway, you know, you do things, you run like, you know, you get cell phones, you get drugs, you get your tobacco, you get, you know, and it's the crooked ones that bring it to you.
Yeah.
You know, how do you think it gets in there? You know, they just as crooked as everybody is, and they just ain't been caught.
Yep.
And that's what it is. And the shit that I've seen.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you could speak on some stuff, maybe some crazier stories or
stuff
that you've witnessed in, you know, Leavenworth.
Yeah, I mean, just riots. You know, the riots, and you know, they have an order of the court in the prison system. They, you know, where people handle the things themselves. You know, you watch shows like, you know, 60 Days In and things like that, where they hold courts in the cells. That's real. You know, you're going to stand in front of your people, you know, and they're going to choose to punish you whichever way fits, just like a judge would sentence you depending on what the crime is in there.
It's just straight justice.
Straight justice.
Yep.
You know, if you're a dirtbag and you go try to steal something from somebody that doesn't have anything to begin with, you're a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and you're gonna
pay for that.
You're gonna pay for it.
Yep.
You know, and just some of the things, you know, like, you know, the race riots, you know, in the chow halls, man, just, you know, and like when I said like the feds do stuff on purpose, like put you in with places like that, I was sitting there eating at the dining hall. And this was on a Tuesday. Tuesdays is when the bus brings in new people from transfer centers, this and that, and they take people who had gotten in trouble, whatever. Tuesdays was the day. Bus rolls in on Tuesday. 20-some people come in, you know, this, that. We already know who's on the bus. Well, there's a native in there that killed another guy's brother, who was sitting there at the table with me. And this guy comes walking in the chow line.
Oh, no. And the guy sitting next to you saw him.
Guess what?
On site.
It's on.
Yep.
And it don't matter what race you are. It don't matter who you are. It's go. And when it's on go, it's go.
Yeah.
And until they come in with rubber bullets shooting, you know, they come in like a SWAT, man. National, it's like a National Guard that comes in there, and it's not pretty. You know, and then you're on lockdown.
Yeah.
Over something that you had no control of.
Yeah, you was just trying to eat.
Because two people, you know, were put into a situation that should have never been put into a situation.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't hate on the guy that, you know, got
to
up.
Get back. No,
right.
no.
You know what I mean?
No.
If that would have been me, I would have been in the same situation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I would have been going after whoever I loved. And, you know, you take that from somebody, then you're going to go and put them in the same prison with somebody.
Yeah.
And then you want to keep the order of the yard. Yeah, it don't work.
Yeah.
It don't work.
Yeah.
But that's the lifestyle. And when you get in there, you get all the drugs, the cigarettes, you know, I had a cell phone. You know, I had a cell phone in Leavenworth probably 2 months after I got there. Finding the right people.
Yeah.
You know, and you start finding the right people, then you start doing more things, and because you're still in that mad stage. Yeah. Because you don't care. You know,
and you're still trying to figure out what the fuck am I going to do for these
what
next
am I going to do?
years?
What am I going to do? You know,
it's like you went to college in Leavenworth.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you got to learn. And it's, you know, but then like when they feel that you're too big of a problem or too big of a person, they'll come down on you in there. You know, so
it's like you can get to a certain level, but then they're going to knock you back down.
Right. Yeah. Like when you're a shot caller and they know you're an intellectual person and you start calling shots and they know that you can control that yard in the flip of a light switch, they're going to do what they can to get you out of there, and they'll come down on you.
Do you want to speak about the yard stuff?
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, the yards break down into race. You know, you find your own race. So obviously being with the whites, but I got along with everybody. You know, that wasn't who I was.
Yeah.
You know, and I helped control that because I didn't put up with it. So you want to put me in charge of a unit or a yard, you know, my people ain't going to be put into jeopardy and fighting with people over stupid stuff. You know, if you do stupid stuff to get yourself that way, you deserve it. Yeah. You know, but we ain't going to do something to pop something off just like that because people are going to get killed.
Yeah.
People were airlifted out of there.
Yeah.
You know, it's serious.
It's like a Thunderdome and everything.
It's a Thunderdome.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like a roller derby. You get out there to go walk the yard, and it's like you already know like what areas to stay away from because you can see where they're congregating.
Yeah.
So you start seeing, and it's rough. You
know, how did you get to the point where you were the one kind of would overseeing be the right word?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's who you roll with, you know, and it's who accepts you in. Because when you're there, it's already established, you know, but people get in trouble. Like I said, you know, they start rotating people out. They have meetings. They'll call you up to a meeting. Like we got called up. We were on a call out. There was only 4 of us on the call out, and this was during a lockdown. Okay. There's 4 of us on a call out, and they call us up into an anger management room to have a meeting with us to try to keep the order of the yard so they could let everybody back out. Now, it took 4 months to happen before everybody was okay, but it still wasn't good. Yeah. You know, but you're disappointed by your own people. Yeah. Your own people see the real, you know, and obviously like with the paperwork, they know, you know, about you. There's people in there that grew up in the same area as you, that know you. You know, it's a small world, you know. Small world, and you just earn the respect. Yeah. You earn the respect, the loyalty, and, you know, protecting your people. Yeah. You know, that's what you do. You know, you're not afraid.
Right. Well, and speaking of protecting, you had to do protection for certain specific people as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So So in there, in comes, when I'm in Leavenworth, in comes a mob boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's other mob people in there. There's a lot of mob people in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a crime organization.
Is that a thing where it's like similar to like the Bloods, the Crips, the GD, stuff like that? When you come in, like the other people in there already know. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They already know.
Yeah.
So they know, like in this situation, a Vendetti, okay, out of Omaha, he comes in, very well known, and they move my cellmate, and they tell me you have a new cellmate coming the next day. They don't tell you who it is.
Yeah. So now you just get to wait.
You just get to
find out.
wait.
Yeah.
You just get to wait. You don't know. It could be
Jeffrey Dahmer, like
right.
you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
it
know.
could be the leader of the eastern half of the United States for the Crips. You don't know. It could be a guy. It could be the guy that did the Boston bombing.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get into a story about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in comes a Vendetti, major crime boss, Gravano family, Sammy the Bull. It all trickles down. He runs out of Omaha. One of the best men, no lie, that I'd ever met in this world. The things that he has taught, you know, some of us.
Yeah.
And the stories, the real life situations that man stored. You know, simply amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, and somebody of that nature, you earn the respect of.
Yep.
Okay. Being a big person, you know, I had been there. I was an intellectual person. Ultimately, what's he need? He needs protection. Okay. So we make sure that happens. We make sure he has the order in the court, because there ain't nothing he can do. I mean, he can go check himself in. How many crime bosses do you know are going to go to the guard and check themselves in?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's not.
That's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. And
is that because they're just? I don't want to say beneath them, but would that be?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like insulting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And that's just something they would rather die.
Yeah.
Than
subject yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, but just that mentality, you know, that he carried with him, you know, just day in and day out. There wasn't a thing in the world that could have phased that man.
Yeah.
Not a thing in the world.
He was just super calm. Cool.
Super calm.
Yeah.
And over time, he just, you know, he became a real good friend.
Yeah.
You know, he was like family to me. And, you know, I knew everything about his family.
Yeah.
Everything about his upbringing, everything, you know, about the organization he ran, you know, Goodfellas out of Omaha, and running that prostitution ring that got him there. It just, you know, it's real life, you know, but you know, you learn his family, you learn his lifestyle, he learned mine, you know, it's a respect. And still to this day, man, he passed, but his son's still around.
Yeah.
And, you know, good dude.
You keep in touch with him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
RIP to him, man, especially if he was that much of an impact on you and, you know, important in your life. You know, seemed like a good dude.
Yeah, and you can't change who you meet. You know, I can't change anything about that. You know, I had such a good group of guys that I had met in there, and that still carried on to the outside, that I'm still with, you know, that I would do anything for, you know. And I mean, you give me them 5, 6 guys, and I tell you what, we could take over the world, you know, and there ain't nobody that was going to stop us.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that. You know, you just earn that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that carries on to the outside, and, you know, knowing the people you do, you know, that are always loyal to you.
Yeah.
You know, like mine and the ones I love, you know, they're all family, and, you know, they're all protected. They're all, you know, these guys would do anything for them, you know, and because they know if I bring them in, then they'll bring it
Right.
in. It's just the way it is.
It's cosign, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that he gets out.
Before you did?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He gets out, and it wasn't very long after that they came down on me, and it was time to get me out of there.
Oh,
So
gosh, okay.
they all knew I had a phone. They all knew I sold cigarettes. They all knew. They all, look the other way.
Yeah.
But now when it's time to get somebody out, they come down on you and say, oh, yeah, somebody ratted on you and said you had a phone. We come to shake you down.
This was towards the end of your sentence?
Yep. So they come down, lock you up. SIS comes in, investigative services comes in, get you for everything, got me on a whole racket. So obviously, because I was into a bunch of things, and
it didn't give you extra time. They just
so they took away all my good time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they took away all my good time.
So you didn't get out early,
right?
Yeah,
right. So they gave me the very minimum bit of halfway house they could, and they kept me. So they transferred me around from Leavenworth. I went to Oklahoma City, sat at the transfer center down there for a month or so, and then they transferred me to Terre Haute, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're sitting there and we're in the SHU, the special housing unit, because we're transfers, and I didn't know if that was going to be my final stop or not. But then after a week in the SHU, I figured out that was not my final transfer because I wasn't on the yard.
Yeah.
But then, in the prison system, there's kites. People send you messages. Even with your lockdown, you're going to get messages.
Yeah.
Okay, people know I'm there. People know who's there. One floor above me is the Boston bomber, sitting on death row.
And which one? Which
Terre Haute.
Okay, we were just in Terre Haute anyway too. Like
Gucci Mane's on the yard.
At the same spot?
At the same spot.
So wait a minute. So you're locked up with the Boston bomber and Gucci Mane,
Yes.
bro?
Yes, at a transfer spot.
Yeah. So it was just you were passing through, basically.
Right. Passing through. And one floor above me. So, kites and this and that, and, people put hits, and, you're going to find a way to get to somebody. And there's paid hits out there. Hits are a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
As unfortunate as it is, people out there would do anything to get to certain people.
Can you see that stuff coming before it happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
I know you said you have a keen sense of
Yeah. And when I get a gut feeling for somebody, it's
mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
And I've got a crew now that knows the same situations.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when they bring somebody like in our local areas, like if they bring somebody to my attention, it's already pretty bad. Mm-hmm. So when it gets to that point, they're like, hey, we got somebody over here that's doing this to all these little kids, and we can prove this and that. It just got so out of hand that there's so many of them out there.
Oh, dude.
So many of them out there.
And this was other inmates coming to you and saying this?
Other inmates, yep. And so I started a group on the outside, Bikers Against Predators. They go around.
Oh, I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, go around.
I love watching the YouTube videos
Yes.
of those YouTubers that'll go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, support them with all they can.
Yeah.
Because Boots and them guys, they hit the ground, and they started with nothing.
Yeah.
And, they asked for some guidance. I wasn't going to tell them no.
Mm-hmm.
And, I support them 100%, and they go all over the country right now getting all these predators.
It trips me out, some of those videos, like how nothing gets done when they present everything, and then they're just like...
Because they're protected.
Yeah.
They are protected.
Yeah.
As sick as it is, they are protected.
Bro, how long was you in there with the Boston bomber and Gucci Mane on the phone? Just a few days? Or?
No, we were there for 2.5 months. 2.5 months, and I still think that they didn't know where I was going.
Mm-hmm. And that was probably right towards the end of Gucci's sentence.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because shortly after I left Terre Haute and went to Oxford, Wisconsin,
they bounced you all over there.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got the wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, I flew on a plane from Oklahoma City to Terre Haute, Indiana with duct tape on the wings.
Oh, my God, bro. And
you
got
U.S. Marshals
Yeah.
in a plane full of Con Air. And it's shaking like a horn church going in through that air, man. And flapping in the wind. Oh man, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I thought we were done.
We're not going to make it to this next spot.
Yeah, and they don't tell you where you're going because you could have people waiting there.
Oh, you could be like, hey, I'm pulling. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
They do not tell you where you're going. I didn't even know I was going to Oklahoma City to begin with, and then Terre Haute sure didn't know I was going there. And then from Terre Haute, so I get out of Terre Haute after that incident with the bomber upstairs. He was in protective custody, and so many people were after him.
Yeah.
But sitting on death row, and so they get me out of there. I'm on the next transfer. I'm gone.
You're headed to Oxford.
Oxford, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Get to Oxford, Wisconsin. They wouldn't let me on the yard there either. Kept me in the shoe.
So everywhere you went, they already knew. Okay, this guy used to.
Yep.
Run the yard at this place.
That paperwork.
Yeah.
That paperwork.
Like you said, it's your life.
It's your life.
Yeah.
And they know. And they know what yard they can't put you in. They know what yard they can. And I get to Oxford, and once again, I'm sitting there in the shoe in the special housing unit, not let out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I'm not done yet. And once again, I was only there for 2 weeks. But then finally they put me on another bus, sent me over by Minneapolis, and that's where they let me out. And I finished.
What made them keep switching you around where you couldn't just...
I don't know.
They just didn't
know.
know.
They won't tell you.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. So it's just blind, flying blind.
Yeah, even like your people, like they're online on the outside trying to figure out where you're at. Mm-hmm. And from the time I left Leavenworth, wouldn't show.
It was just like this.
It wouldn't show where I was at.
Okay.
It wouldn't show. They had no idea.
Yeah.
I could have died for all they knew.
And you didn't have nowhere to call. They wouldn't let you call or nothing.
Nope. No, because when you're on that discipline transfer, no rights.
Yeah.
Like you get to eat.
And the discipline transfer is when they started saying, hey, somebody rolled on you about the cigarette or whatever it was.
Yep.
Because they knew. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yep.
Because you got to that certain level.
Yep. Got to that certain level, and then they find the cell phone, which is the worst thing they could find in there.
Yeah. Because you can get anything.
Yeah. It's a Series 500 shot that they throw at you because it's a tool that could be used to escape.
Yeah.
The worst thing you could ever do in prison is catch a 500 charge, and that's what I did. Mm-hmm. So then the feds come at you and interrogate you while you're in prison and want to add more time to you.
Yeah.
And it's a scare tactic, but just not folding, man.
Yeah.
It's just staying who you are, and but that's who you got to adapt, and you carry that out to the street, like the respect and the loyalty that you have for the time that you lost.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 4 year, 10 year, 20 year. I knew many guys in there on 20-year sentences for marijuana.
God.
Sick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I know baby rapers that get 2 years and are protected the whole time they're in there.
That is so screwed
It's backwards.
up, bro.
It's backwards.
Oh my God.
It's corrupt. And even on the streets today, you see all these people that get these sex offender charges, and they get all these light ass deferred sentences and no jail time and probation and we'll put you through a program.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna do
Therapy.
nothing. How many anger management classes help people? It's just like you're there because you have to be. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna go right back out to doing what you were doing because they can't tell you otherwise. And, it's just a revolving door until they do something bad enough that a judge will throw down a 10, 20-year sentence on them. Yeah. And those are the people in there that we didn't let have any rights.
And you couldn't you can't even communicate with those people.
No.
They got them so tucked away.
No. Yep.
Because they wouldn't last a minute out there
No.
with y'all. Yeah.
Nope. Wouldn't last a minute.
Yeah.
And,
rightfully so.
And, so there's people that do make it out there, and it's because they may be in the Fed system on a drug charge, but they have a state case where they went to state prison, on a sex charge.
Yep.
And there was people. That's what we did. We went through the paperwork and we found out those people. We, called out those people that were trying to skate by. And like Leavenworth, that wasn't the place to try to skate by. Yeah. Because they were going to know, and the guards would even tell us that.
Hey, such and such is
Hey,
yeah.
you know, this person coming in, he's not one of your people, just to let you know.
Yeah.
But he's gonna try it. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a life that you can't change, but it's a life you have to adapt to, and it's a life that you got to survive in. And that's what I did. I learned. You know, I learned who I was. I learned respect and loyalty, and knowing who I knew and who I came across in there helped me so much coming out here,
Yep.
as to know who I wanted to be around,
Yep.
and who I wanted in my circle. You know, my circle is so small, but it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I do. But I didn't waste that time when I was in there. I learned art. I just taught myself so many new things, you know, and just the books and the books and the books I've read, you know, it's just unreal, you know. So then I take that passion and I drive and I find something I like to do and I bring it out to the real world, you know. And still to this day, I'm constantly teaching myself new things, picking up new things, doing new things, meeting new people. And, you know, it's all about moving forward and leaving that past behind you, you know. But there's still a respect and a loyalty that you got to keep as a man, you know,
100%.
you know, going into the world.
Yeah.
And
So here's a name I want to throw out there. You're speaking about books. Karen Gravano.
yes,
You want to speak a little bit about who that is?
yes.
Yeah.
Karen is a great friend.
Okay.
And I will never forget one thing that she told me, and that was to trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't have said more powerful words.
Yeah.
And she's got a new book out. It's called Mob Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know who Karen is, she's a very, very powerful female in the mob organization who is the daughter of Sammy the Bull. And she has chosen to go out and speak on her life in that organization
As his
daughter.
I got to read that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it is killer.
And you said y'all are good friends?
Good friends.
That's cool.
She is a great woman.
Yeah.
You know, and
Imagine being his one of his children, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, you know, she got linked up and she was able to get on with Bunny and, you know, do her mob series podcast.
Oh,
and
that's
things
right.
like
Okay,
that.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So if you could, you know, go back and watch
I'll go
that
check those
video
out.
because
Yeah.
she speaks a lot in there and she speaks about those words, you know, that she said.
Mm-hmm.
And man, just to hear her say it again, just, man, that vibe.
Yeah.
You know, but she's the most down to earth person, and you know, she was on Mob Wives TV and, you know, did that reality series, and man, she didn't take no shit in there either, and now she wrote a book, and just the life stories that you take from her mouth.
Yeah.
It's just like no other.
Oh yeah,
You
man.
know, and she is the most intelligent, smartest woman I have ever met.
Yeah.
You know, just down to earth, great woman. You know.
How long have y'all known each other?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, word travels.
Oh yeah.
You know, they all know.
Yeah.
You know, they all know who got Vendetti through, you know, helped get Vendetti through.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't go unrecognized.
Yeah. And that's not even something you sought after. That's something that
Right.
came to you.
It just comes to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not always a choice, you know, because it's like, what do you do? You know, you don't
say no. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. No, that's okay.
Oh, cool, man. We'll go. Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know if that's really just the option to go with.
Yeah, no, but you know, I wouldn't change it for the world because the life knowledge that these people have gathered from doing things the wrong way and the good way, but you know, and basing off of core values. That's what the life is. You know, you base your life off of core values and you live by it every day and you'll be a good person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can overcome anything, you know? And if you put your mind to it, there ain't nobody that can tell you can't do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If you have the dedication and the drive, you know, I get out you know, go through the halfway house, do little odd and ends jobs to make by, get my own apartment, you know, I ended up getting married, meeting my wife, good gal. She, you know, she keeps me on the straight and narrow, you know, and she's met some of the people that, you know, and it's
from your life before her,
yep. And, you know, they'll tell her things and, you know, be like, oh, well, did he tell you this and that? And, you know, she learns something new every day.
She's like, oh, no, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that, you know, and they'll tell her, be like, oh, yeah, this crazy son of a bitch. When, you know, it's just those things, you know, when you're family, and they would look at her as one of theirs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the way it is. And they would do anything for her as they would do anything for me. And, you know, and that word travels, you know, between the organizations. That's just like the Bloods and the Crips, you know, they know who their people are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's a loyalty. They stick to it and they do anything they can for those people.
Yeah.
And you just carry that to the outside, and it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all about catching the wrong people, you know, doing the wrong things, you know, to hurt the ones closest to you.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's scary, man.
So you get out, and now you're starting to, let's talk about what you do for your profession, Outlaw Dynamics.
Yep.
Talk about how that started, and talk about kind of what that is, and maybe, you know, throw out some people that you've done stuff for.
Yeah. So I started Outlaw Dynamics off of art because that's what I have found that I love to do. I'd gotten good at it. I'd always trying to find new ways of doing things. So I started Outlaw Dynamics, started an online store. I started designing things, engraving things, just putting art onto anything unique, any different way that nobody else does.
Yeah.
And I've done things, you know, tons of stuff for Jelly and Bunny, Lil White, Just in Time.
Brought us this fire piece, guys.
Did this for Show and Prove Entertainment.
Hell yeah, man.
For Chad and the guys. A little hanging for their studio.
Hell yeah, man.
But that's just some things I do, and, you know, portraits and things for, you know, treasures that, you know, that'll last a lifetime that you just can't take away. And you know, like that, you'll never forget who gave it to you.
No, bro, that shit's awesome, man.
You know
he did
what I
one
mean?
awesome one too for me and Mel. I'll show him that too. Let me get you.
Oh, the portrait for you and Mel,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Show ChadArmesTV that one, man.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
There's Mel and Chad.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
So how long does something like this take? Like if you do something like this right here.
So just to get that image, so I got that image from you, and just to get that image into a point to where I can put it onto art like that, it takes me 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Just to work to get that image, because if I just take it and slap it onto something, man, it's gonna look terrible.
It's gonna look like it.
It's gonna look like it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and you don't get to do things for people like Jelly and Luke Combs and you know, them guys by doing mediocre,
right?
You know, what is this kind of shit? You know what I mean? And one of the best people I got linked up with and got to know is Tim Lincoln down there out of Tulsa at Lincoln Gas Supply. Good buddy of Jelly's down there, and Lil White and all them guys. And man, Tyler Moore and them crew and them guys down at Lincoln Gas Supply, they know what they're doing. That's a good stop if you can stop in there. But they, you know, they've helped a lot of artists out. You know, Lil White's got stuff in there. You know, just things that they can do to help. You know, they bring them down there and support them, and you know, put on concerts and you know, get them there. And you know, it's just a cool family. And you know, and so that's how I got in with Jelly, and you know, through Tim. And Tim's been Jelly's personal grower for quite a long time. But so I got in with that family, and man, I'll never look back.
That's cool, man.
You know, and just the things you can do, and if you have that drive and passion, you just keep pushing. The amount of people I met, I linked up with Big Murph, and saw that Overtime brought him on the Road to Gold tour. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big tour, man. That's the biggest tour I've seen independently.
Yeah, over 70 dates
Yeah.
for for the independent groups to get out there. That's huge.
Yeah.
And to spread the country and give the people the music and stuff they listen to, and they put on a good show.
Yeah.
People aren't disappointed when they go out and see these shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just found an art like getting in through music. I lived my whole sentence through music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what you do. You cope, you vibe.
Yeah.
You find people that relate through music, what you've lived and what you stand for.
Yep.
And you stick with those people. And you like the way somebody puts music. Jam Wayne's another one.
Yep.
Jam Wayne's killing it.
Killing it, dude.
And just had his first live performance. It looked like he'd been doing it for 20 years. You couldn't have told,
Yeah.
And the words through his music is just unreal. I can't wait to meet that guy, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it'll be awesome, man. We can definitely make that happen at some point. And salute to Jam like that. You and him get along. Y'all get along great. Yeah.
And I've been talking to his camp and hopefully be doing some work for them soon. And and the reason I'm down here is through another music avenue. So I was invited down here by BBR Group, Broken Bow Records.
Yep.
They had me yesterday, welcomed me with open arms, be with them on a year trial, doing some art, working side by side with Tony, designer 15 plus years, designing album covers, posters, media art that you see every day.
Tony
Manifold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
He
does a lot of stuff for BBR.
A lot of stuff for BBR.
Yeah.
So they linked me with him, and so I'm excited to get to know him and work with him.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would have linked me with him, if they didn't think he could.
Oh yeah.
Teach me the life.
Yeah.
And just being with them yesterday, and learning so much more about the music industry, and how it works. Just gives me that much more respect, for what you guys do.
Yeah.
And so I'm out here. I'm getting my art, out to different artists and doing different things. And I've done stuff for Blink 182. The list goes on. Dave Matthews, just the people, man, the people, and they recognize the art. They see a good thing in somebody, and then they let them in, and that's one thing I will never burn, because this is awesome.
Yeah.
And the people that I'm meeting, sitting here with you today, huge.
Yeah.
And decided, like, on that Road to Gold tour with Big Murph and Jones and Dirty, Colt Graves and all them guys, they Outlaw Dynamics jumped on and threw a sponsor with Big Murph and did a bunch of merch for him. He's got our merch at his tables. We've done stone coasters, we've done tumblers, keychains, everything unimaginable. Any logo, any album cover, I put on anything.
Yeah.
And man, he's out there killing it, selling the shit out of it.
That's awesome, man.
And it's great. I just want to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. Bro. I'm going to find the next camp. And I'm just going to see more and more and more, and I'm just going to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what I love, man. That art.
That's awesome, man. Well, your story's great, bro, and I'm sure we'll link back up again to do more. But I appreciate you sitting down and us doing, sitting down and letting you tell your story.
Absolutely.
Because it's a really good one, and I appreciate everything that you've done for us, and just the support and taking the time out to do that dope art for me, and I appreciate it truly, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's one more thing I'm going to ask you. I ask everybody this. Who is Murph from Outlaw Dynamics?
Murph?
Who's Jeremy? However you want to go. However you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm the realest dude that you're going to meet, because I've spent my life being somebody I haven't been, and I can't be that person anymore.
Yeah.
So when you meet me, I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Yep.
And if I vibe with you, I vibe with you. But if I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, that's the way it is. Don't
Yep.
keep trying. Don't keep
Yeah.
knocking on the door, you know, because there's values,
Yeah.
you know, and I've learned values way too deep to let it all go.
Yeah.
You know, and I won't live by any other way.
Yeah.
So it's the loyalty, the hustle, you know, and staying strong to who you are.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, dude, I appreciate it again, man. We'll make sure to put your links in the description, so anybody that's interested in getting some art, you know, some stuff like
Absolutely.
that, we'll put all the correct links there so he can get y'all looking right, man. And Murph, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the start of a dope friendship, man, and a dope, you know, kinship with you. So I appreciate you again, dog.
Anytime.
Hell yeah, ChadArmesTV, Murph from Outlaw Dynamics, baby.